All right, welcome back to another episode of the Kitchen Table Podcast where business gets done. I'm your host, Ken Baden, and I'm here with TJ Russell from Black Raven Brigade Security. I said it all in one smooth sentence. I didn't think I was going to be able to. I said that right?
Wah, wah, wah. You
There
sure
you
did.
go, dude. TJ, what's up, man? How are you?
Good, sir. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing very well, man. How was you're in Arizona, so what is Arizona like this time of year? I should probably know, but I haven't been back out to see old Andy in months. What's it like there right now? Is it hot as hell?
Right now, we are at 89 degrees. So I got a high of 93 and a low of 63, which is going to be awesome.
Remember Danny told us what did he say? It was like in like the dead of summer. He was like, dude, it's like basically when you go outside, it's like walking through a blow dryer. I was like, well, that sounds terrible.
The summers are very terrible, but thank you for having me on your podcast.
You're very welcome, man. Thank you for coming on the podcast. So we met, man, when it was last winter. It's been so freaking long. Time flies, dude. December. Was it December?
No,
It was
January.
December.
I think it was December, dude.
December, I think December 7th or December
Yeah, it
4th.
was. It was freaking December, dude. That's insane, man. Time is absolutely flying. So we met almost a year ago. That is nuts. It feels like it was just like, that's why I was thinking, I'm like, yeah, a couple months. No, it's been almost a year. Wow. So we met December of last year in Arizona at the Andy Elliott Stewman event. And we were down there with some of our team. And I know you and Roger got hooked up. And kind of we've just been talking ever since, or at least you guys have. And I haven't had the pleasure. But he was super excited to have you on. So what kind of all has transpired since we last saw each other? What have you been up to in the last year, man? Since it's been a year since we've seen each other, what have you been up to?
It's been pretty dope. We've had the blessing and opportunity to be able to do some work for Amazon and Netflix, a little bit on the more personal security side. So, providing security details to the actors when we're going to do a new release, say, like, a three body problem. They'll come do the premiere. Everyone shows up. That entire weekend's filled with shooting all types of content. So, it's really a big pleasure. Um, Seeing as we're one of the newer cats in the game, it's not something that you get a big opportunity, out the gate. Excuse me. So there's a lot of the success that we've had for the past year goes up to our mentors. Um, Jonathan has been a really good guy, really been taking care of us and putting us under his wing while he's been knocking out with all of the Hollywood elites, Cali and inside of Texas.
Who's Jonathan is a mentor of yours?
Oh yeah, he's a senior in the game and kind of taking me under his wing, showing me what's what and what I'm missing out. Because I just turned 30 this year, and when I got out of the military, that's when I started the company. So it wasn't something that was already aware of the difference between providing security on a military aspect of it, dealing with generals, high profile individuals there, or from civilian and dealing with high profile individuals who are need a little bit more catering to, as opposed to necessarily a general. But
Yeah, general's still in the military. They still kind of know the deal, I suppose, I guess, versus some freaking, I don't know, bougie actor who doesn't know their butt from a hole in the ground.
there's some similarities, but significantly different as far as operations go. But at the end of the day, the mission is the same: get the individual from point A to point B safely. All we're trying to do is everyone get home back to our families. At the end of the day, that's all that matters.
So this is a much cooler podcast pretense than I thought. So, I mean, I knew security. I knew you did security, but I mean, that could be security is vague, dude. That could be cybersecurity. That could be. So you're talking like real deal, personal, high level personal security for like high level folks. Correct me if I'm wrong.
That's correct. And the goal of Black Raven Brigade Security is to take over the entire vertical. So, from the time that you build or you purchase a lot of plot of land, implementing that security all the way through the construction phase to make sure that you're able to finish out to the person getting there, how their overall security plan is going to look like. And usually these are custom homes, so I mean, a couple of $1 million you're looking at as far as the purchase of the home, and that's not including what your additional things that you're going to want for physical security, environmental security, how you set up the landscape, if you have a safe room in your house or not, what the alarm system looks like. So it's you can get really into the weeds. I love it.
So one aspect of the job is you've got a movie premiere, and like you said, you're a little newer into I guess this venture. So I guess you're probably not like, I would imagine it's like who you know and that, which is really dope that your mentor kind of plugged you in. Once you get going, I guess like you work with this guy, then you work with this gal, then it's like, you're the guy working with a lot of the freaking actors and actresses. But outside of that, I was like, well, what else? You know what I mean? So you're talking like anybody and everybody, including myself. I want to go build a custom home in Arizona, or I would gather anywhere. And you're going to what? You're going to like, okay, let's talk about, I don't know, let's talk about how to fortify this investment. I mean, like, take me through sort of like what that looks like when someone comes to you with, hey, I want to build a house, but they're coming to you. What are they coming to you with? Are they coming to you with like, how do I make my house, my plot of land, a compound, or like an impenetrable fortress? Or are they just like, hey, what do you know what I mean? Like, I'm really curious as to how in the weeds these folks go. Or is it just like, what's the standard person want? They just want like a regular old security system. Like, do you do that?
Yeah, so your average person, you're pretty much on the money with that. So great job. The average person would just have their house built, regardless of if it's, half a million, 200,000, or a couple million. Uh, you at the end of the day, you want to feel safe in the home. So that just starts out with just basic physical security. So, window, door, alarm sensors, whatnot, having all of those things, cameras, you got glass break, window sensors. And if you want to go smart, then you can take everything and be able to change it, turn it off, notice when it's on and open through an app and everything. So, and just that's pretty much your basic at it. The next step is you're in a custom home and you haven't built it yet, right? And so you may be in like for instance, Arizona has a really good, nice plot of lands, right? That are more so in the mountains. If you can, pay for that, then I've got a plot of land that's, a couple miles from me that's $5 million, and it's only an acre, but you're smack dab up to a mountain, you know? So it's taking into consideration, okay, well, I'm on a mountain. What's the best way for me to cover the ingress, cover the egress? I'm in a, secluded area. How best do we able to get cell signal out here? Because in an emergency, the alarm system's got to be able to send the signal out from the home, triggering that event out to the person who's going to be responding to that. Generally, it's monitored by a monitoring station 24/7, right? Additionally, you'll get your emergency contacts on there and they'll get hit. And then you can also have a private security patrol be direct response to you. So that's why I love private security, because it kind of takes that middle ground to, all right, well, usually we'll say we wait on the public safety, right? The police to show up. But with an average time of 22 minutes, depending on how far you're out, you might be stuck, right? So you're relying on the defenses that are built inside of the house. Again, for the custom home, how's your landscape built? Do you have opportunity or avenues of egress, or can you see that individual prior to them seeing you, depending on whether or not we're utilizing the cameras going to the safe room? Do you have opportunities to pick up vantage points if you choose to protect your home, depending on what state you're in with a weapon? Taking all of those considerations, it's really custom, and it just really depends on what you're comfortable with. Really, how far in the weeds could we go?
So, no, that's awesome, dude. I mean, I was just thinking, you keep saying safe room or panic room. Like, do you see that a lot? Is that like a thing that we see a lot these days? To me, that seems like a 1% that would have that. Is that something that's becoming more common?
My goal is to make it more common, because a designated room is a safe room. if you make it a safe room, right? So typically, your emergency response plan for your home, if you're the average person, is to what? Gather, identify the threat, gather the family, place them in one secluded area, go ahead and start making your calls while someone's securing that door. If you're competent enough and you've had the training, then go ahead and engage the threat, attempt to move the threat out of the house, give him the opportunity to leave. So it kind of really goes on to what you're comfortable with and how that response looks. But like I said, the safe room is something that's accessible to everyone. And my goal is to make sure that everyone is given the empowerment through the protection and the knowledge and the services that we provide by letting you know how to do that.
Hmm. I don't want to ask anything too like because I'm starting to really like I'm like wonder what something like this costs, but it feels expensive. But I mean, because I would have a field day with this, dude. I'd be like, man, I'd be like doing Black Ops in my house. You know what I mean? Like the Call of Duty, like live action Black Ops. Like show me how. Although technically speaking, I couldn't do any of that shit because I'm a felon, so I wouldn't be doing any of that. But I guess you guys could. You could show me. We could set it up to where I could be protected that way. My wife's an attorney, so maybe she can do whatever she wants. But at any rate, how often do you get folks that are like, teach me how to defend my house? Is that something you see a lot?
That's something I see a lot. Yep. And the only way that I'm able to even get the opportunity to do so is by making to one-on-one connection in person and knocking on the door and just having the conversation and just starting it from there. Then typically we'll start at the dog. I have a German Shepherd, awesome dog. Other people have a dog already before they're able to move or they're willing to move into the having the physical security of an alarm system, right? Or they may just have the dog and the weapon itself, but never use the weapon. In fact, my last client, she's a 80-year-old woman, lives out in Scottsdale. It's her and her dog, and she's got a revolver. And we talked about the revolver, and I was putting the system in for her. And she said, I haven't used this revolver in 6 years. So she hadn't used it in 6 years. And so she's not since her husband had died. She hasn't had opportunity to maintain any type of training with that weapon. So little things happen like that to where, you never really have to use it, but it's the fact that she had it in case she needed to have it was the best thing. And then after that, it's now you need to have it and there's a point for you to use it. Do you remember how to use it? Right. So training is one of those things that it's a perishable skill. I took Spanish in high school. Was pretty good in Spanish before I joined the army. Didn't speak a lick of Spanish afterwards. I'm having to learn Spanish all over again. So it's little things like that. So again, talking about accessibility and making sure of value to the community itself is because we rely on ourselves and the people around us to support us in the need of an issue like that, an incident like that, right? And not a lot of us talk about the training enough. At least maybe it might be because of the whole political view of gun control. I don't know, but as a security practitioner, I feel as if you're going to have it, let's do something with it so that way you know how to use it when it's time to use it and you're not making an even bigger mess because you're already using it. So that intensifies your cases as usual. And please don't. If you kill them, then there's that. And so we talk about things about how to render aid if you're one of those individuals who are, injured in the fight with the individual, or if you're providing first aid to that individual after you've incapacitated them and made them no longer a threat, then our goal is to, okay, he's no longer a threat, but we don't want him to die, right? So it's kind of hit and choose, though. Still custom, still custom. Your preference is your preference. That's all.
He said your yeah, I'm like, ah. Was it like what's like he's got the Roger's got the Rocky hoodie on. I was thinking about Ivan Drago. If he dies, he dies.
That's my favorite line. I'm not even gonna.
That's how you said that. I'm like, yeah, come up in my house, dude. I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna be. Oh no, let's make sure.
Duke's getting you first though.
Yeah, Duke gets you. It's a wrap anyhow, man. He's such a nice dog, but I can see too. Like I just don't.
Can't shake your hand.
That's true. we you won't see this because we edited it out, but we had to stop for a second because TJ's got a German Shepherd, and if you've watched the show, you know I have a German Shepherd, Duke. He's been on the show before, but I can't film at my house because he picks the times every time anything goes. For whatever reason, if I get on the phone, all of a sudden now is a good time for him to start barking, especially if I'm filming something. So, but I brought him in the office a lot, and I recently, man, it's mostly because of his sister, and she's had surgery and stuff on her elbow, and it's just haven't been able to bring him in as much. But when I bring him in, no one can shake my hand, man. He's just gotten weird. He's gotten weird about that. Like, he sits in my office, he's chill, doesn't mess with nobody, doesn't really. But the second we get up and dude goes to shake my hand, he lets them know, like, I don't like that, dude. He's let them know the last couple times to the point where, like, all right, well, we gotta figure something out with that because that's gonna end up being a problem. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I can only imagine what would happen if somebody actually really did get a hold of me and my wife. They'd probably be in trouble. So, but that's a great thing to think about, right? Is home security. Start with something like a dog, or maybe a dog plus your right to defend yourself, which I. Even though I am a felon, before that, I was a 2A loving. I'm just a common sense American, dude. I don't know what else to say. I don't really, but I think that is the stupidest shit in the world to, like, align yourself, like, blindly anywhere. Like, I just have common sense personal fucking policies, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because that shit could switch up, and then it's like, well, I'm a this, and then, but what does this mean? You know what I mean? Like, I just know what I believe in X, Y, and Z. And that's just period. If everything that you are saying aligns with my values, I really don't care what you call yourself, Democrat, Republican, Independent. I don't care. Do you align with my personal values? Because that could be a quick okey doke. I mean, hell, right? Like, Democrats were like, oh, well, we switched everything. Like, what? Did you? I don't know. Like, you could do that again. Who knows? So I don't do all that mess personally. I just have what I believe is common sense and good practice, and I believe you should be able to freaking. Somebody can come up in my house with a gun, dude. I want to have the right to be able to protect myself with that, and not have to call you to come help me because I chose to obey the law. You know what I'm saying? You can promise me that's never ever a possibility, but I mean, like, I just don't see it in the good old U.S. of A., dude. There's way too many out there. You know what I mean? And then it's like everybody who's got them is just breaking the law. I'm like, nah, man, we ain't doing that. So at any rate, here's my gun control rant. But I really support what you're doing, man. I think it's, besides the gun stuff, man, I mean, personally, it's just dope. What a fun job, man. Like, you got to have a blast. I mean, you get to just, like, do cool shit and, like, all right, how do I get to, like, fortify this little compound? I mean, I would imagine it might get a little rudimentary or boring just putting in, like, security systems. But, like, when I get a client that's like, all right, even that lady, I got a revolver here. Can you show me how to use it? Yes. Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
I jump at the chance. It's sometimes it's boring just getting there, but it all works out because I think Alex Hormozy said this. It's just making those. You're just trying to load the bases, right? And every now and then you may get up and you've got all the bases loaded, and you'll hit that home run, and it'll all count for that one right there. And so those little things like that customer heard right there, that's loading up the bases of the skills prior to me be able to utilize them in that moment to provide her some value. That's the goal. Provide her value and keep her safe and try to utilize these objects to protect her home and herself.
And take me through how someone in your line of business goes from, all right, we're doing, home security. We're doing security systems, and I can show you how to use your own methods of securing your home. I can help you set up security systems. But it feels like getting into, like, personal security, especially, like, high level, generals, musicians, influencers, I don't know, famous folks, man. People that would need personal security. Like, how do you get into that? Because it feels like it's almost two different, like, one's like what I would consider residential, and then you have this other arm of this industry that seems way more, I don't know, unique, like almost like the big leagues. You know what I mean? Is it kind of like that? Is that kind of how you would view it? Like, all right, we're in the big leagues now. We're doing less. The alarms are the day to day and paying the bills, but the big leagues are these big clients where I'm getting to go out and do what I really like doing in personal security. Is that kind of how it is?
Yeah, that's exactly how I think about it
That's
as
cool.
the big leagues. Like it's a very close knit community. And so you've got to do other, I call them side quests, really. You've got to do other side quests, to level up, get that experience and that exposure before one of those individuals who are connected decides to take a chance on you. Because, I mean, it's it's the little stuff that will get you in trouble in the big leagues, right? That's the make or break of a touchdown in the NFL. A small holding call, and that was a touchdown winning pass right there. And it's the little things type of thing like that. So much more of a less margin for error. At the same time, it's just common sense, like you said, to be honest. Treat the individual like they're supposed to be treated. Make sure you're doing your job. Have a smile on your face. Don't look like a slob and keep her going. That's it. Don't crash, don't unnecessarily slap somebody if you don't got to. Other than that, and just enjoy. It's a presence thing. I don't mind being a fly on the wall, so it's okay with me, right? My goal is to make sure that I'm the fly on the wall in the room, but instantly transform into the lion to protect the pride at the same time, right? So it's a bit more different for me because I'm okay with during the day selling the home security, making sure that my overall impact to the community is heard. And then during the night, changing uniforms, putting on the suit, and just having a presence with that individual. And sometimes it may not be that serious. Somebody might want personal protection just for a night out. They're in town for a couple of days, not they're not familiar with the area. I'll show you around the area. You got your protection there, and it's as simple as that. So it really
Do
varies.
you get a lot of that? Is that like a rapper or I don't know? I'm just using I don't know whoever would be able to afford that. I mean, I'm certainly not just like some normal person calling in like, hey, or I guess that could be the case, but I feel like it's going to be like a celebrity comes in and it's like, all right, I want to go out tonight. Like that's who I imagine is going to call out like private security. Is that
Agreed. Agreed. And that's what we imagine, right? At the same time, there's so much more money that's in plain clothes that it's not even funny, right?
yeah?
And so it's not necessarily that this person's super influential, super high profile, and they gotta know,
It could just be freaking loaded and then
right? And so there are bigger companies that are deal with those super guys. That's fine. I get in where I could fit in. And again, like I said, doing those one-on-ones, going out and meeting people is how you find those individuals who are interested in that and have the budget to do so. And so it's literally just taking care of the individual while they enjoy their night out, and you make sure they get home safely. That's it.
do you have a team if you needed to like? All right, because I'm thinking of the scene in Taken. I don't know. My imagination is going with this. Thinking of the scene in Taken when it starts, and he was of course Liam Neeson. He plays the same freaking guy in every movie, but he's a badass ex-military guy with his ex-military buddies, and they're like, oh, we got, and one of them has their own security company, and they're like, bring him in, like, oh, come on, we're bringing you in on our ex-military, like this is what we do, private security stuff now, and remember, and then the singer, there's an issue, and he ends up being the one that saves her, and so he gets her to come out and like give singing lessons to his daughter in the end. But do you have that like team with some of your ex buddies or whatever? Like, do you live that out? Do you play that out, or is that just all made up shit? Or since you own the company, do you bring in some of your old buddies if you have a big job? Like, hey man, I got a big job, I need to bring you in. Anything like that, or no? That's all just movies.
I think it's a bit more of a hybrid, a little bit of both. Having a standby team for Texas and a standby team for Arizona, and if we do anything else out of state, then pull from those teams if there's nothing active for there, and just fill in. So, I mean, you keep a running roster of individuals to use, and there's a plethora of other. Again, it's a close knit community, so you can ask for help, and they're not afraid of you know helping you out for doing it. So you oftentimes may get another owner of another security company who's used to doing, more high profile stuff than you, but he's got the time to help out. And so he's like, yeah, well, I got time. Just come through. So, it again, back to the networking portion of it. It's about who you know. I've had to learn that the hard way. Jumping into the game just like fresh. Like, so this has been, my college for me. Absolutely awesome hands-on experience, better than sitting in a classroom and learning this stuff. But we don't totally disregard the classroom. It's just your feedback loop. Can you actively get something out and get some feedback on it? And so having support inside of the community is partial. I'm sorry, not partial, crucial to that aspect. And again, like I said, I had to learn it the hard way because I'll be like, I'll do it myself. I can do it. Yeah, no, you won't. You need help. Everybody needs help. So it's been great. I'm blessed.
So what are your plans? I don't know. I guess short answer to that. So you don't have any old military buddies that you sometimes keep on standby or bring them in for jobs or that's just.
Oh yeah, the entire roster is prior military and law enforcement. So they're either active or a veteran still in security, or they're a law enforcement professional, public security, maybe doing off duty. But it's all verified and through. I try to maintain as much as possible, either through a veteran of police or military. That just
I
makes
love
me
seeing our
feel better.
military
So
boys coming
that's
out
kind
here.
of our brotherhood. You talk about a brotherhood, that's our brotherhood kind of aspect of it. But that's pretty much it.
I love seeing the military get to come back and make some bread, dude, and do like all right, you busted your ass now, like make some good money. You know what I mean? Like real good money, and see that entrepreneur angle play out well, man. I love it. I'd much rather support somebody was in the military and went out there and earned it than not. You know what I mean? If I've got my pick, I'm picking that one every time. So, what branch were you in?
Army.
And my dad was Navy, so.
That's okay. My brother was Navy too.
Yeah, I know. He wouldn't appreciate me saying it like that. As far as football goes, though.
Navy's got a solid squad for football. I can't lie about that.
But I mean, with our current company, we're not technically veteran owned because he doesn't own it, I do. But even before, when he was still here, he was like, "Well, I'm not a wartime veteran, or I don't know, man." He was so caught up in that shit. I'm like, "Dad, okay, whatever, man." You know what I mean? Like, but we give back. The company we're at now, we have a partnership with Owens Corning, with Potomac, actually the shirt I'm wearing right now, where we do the veteran roof deployment, where we give a roof to a veteran in need every year. That basically just somebody fell on hard times and can't afford it, and we go through and hook them up with a roof, a literal roof over their head. So the last one was an Air Force guy, but hopefully we'll be able to take care of an Army guy here. Doesn't matter, man. Military is military, and anything we can do to help out, we'd be happy to. But take us through, man. What are you've come around since this time. How long have you been in business, first of all? Like, how long have you been doing this?
3 years. 3 years
not very long.
on my own company, and otherwise it was freelance consultant work for 2 years prior to that.
Yeah, so all in all, it's still very much, in a sense, in its infancy. You made it past the second year. Most companies don't. Most entrepreneurs don't even do that. Now here we are going into, it's been a year since I've seen you. So you were real new when I saw you. You were just 2 years in. We saw you in December. You're at the Elliott Group, spending money to be out there, to network, to do. And I get it. That was that whole prior year before. For me, I was at every month. I was traveling. I was shaking hands. I mean, networking is just such an underrated, underutilized. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs or people, and especially nowadays with social media, like, oh yeah, networking, it's not what you know, or it's who you know, and and your network is your net worth. But like, I still think it's underutilized. I still don't think people truly grasp like how valuable networking is. It is an art. It's a strategy. Before I ever even joined any of these groups or paid to be in any group, I spent time locally piecing together my own local mentorship group, and you mentioned mentor, my guess is, I mean, do you pay this person or he's just a mentor of yours? There you go. Just to me, you went, hey, man, will you teach me the ropes, yada, 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 I'm sure, something like that.
Yeah, teach me the ropes, but it's more so what are you doing on your plate that you can't do effectively right now? So there's a trade, right? So you need me to train guys. We have a training school for security officers. Okay, cool. You got new guys coming in. We'll get them whipped up. That's fine. Let me get a shot at the big leagues with you. Done. Say no more. All right, cool. That's it. You know, it's little stuff like that,
That's
and
smart, man.
keeping them
Yeah, so a
abreast
little
of what's going on. So
reciprocity.
I try to provide value as much as possible. So if there's any way that you think of one, coming up after the podcast and whatnot, then let me know. I'll try to be a resource as much as possible.
It's smart, man. And I was just getting ready to say, I hope you all caught that, right? So, like, I was going to say, as far as like how I got mine, and I got mine by just flat out asking. I mean, I suppose the point to point out is I was actively looking, right? And like I knew who the players were. So first of all, I was already, who are the companies that are doing things right? How do I know? Well, I look them up. I make it my business to know who my competitors are, who's doing well, who isn't, who's doing shit the right way. You know, there's a company here locally that I think currently is kind of expanding and doing well just by perception. I can see they're spending money, but I've also heard horrible things about them for years. So, like, that's not somebody who I would approach and be, hey, what are you doing? Like, I don't want to know what you're doing because I've heard really bad things about whatever you guys got going on over there. But, so making it your business to know who's who in your industry, and then putting it out there that, like, okay, I'm looking for someone to kind of take me under their wing. But moreover, what TJ said, dude, I didn't even come into it from like, I just offered to buy the guy some coffee, anything I could do. He asked me to pay it forward to the next person. TJ's approach is a very smart one. You want to get into the big leagues or whatever your business is, that reciprocity approach, like, hey, how can I help you? Like he said, providing value. And he's right, Hormozy, and a lot of others talk about it all the time. Like, give it away for free until you can charge for it. And in this case, you want to find a mentor? Hey, man, I can provide you value for free. Just give me a shot in the big leagues. Help me out on this. Get me a bid on this commercial project. Teach me how to get a bid on a commercial project. Cut me in on the next time you need a sub for this business. Like, whatever. It's going to be a lot more likely that person's going to even listen to what you have to say if you're like, I can help train your canvassers. I can help train your salespeople. I can run this call you don't want to run. Like, whatever it is, that's smart, TJ. And that's thinking like an entrepreneur, man. So it's no wonder you're in the seat that you're in, man. Like, that's impressive. So that's a smart, I call it strategic relationships, right? Like strategic communication, strategic relationships. You know, I was literally like writing a book on relationships. I got like 3 book ideas right now, man, where I'm like, all right, I'm going to start this one, then I'm going to do this one, then I'm going to do this one. And they've just been sitting there. But the one on relationships is just like the strategic relationship. Like, I could use, like, it truly is so valuable in who you know and who you keep around you. You know, they say you're the sum of the 5 people you're around the most, right? Like, you are, show me your friends, I'll show you your future, blah, 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 blah. That stuff is just so true. And I mean, getting the right mentor is just so powerful, man. So anyhow, kudos to you, dude. Seriously. And I hope that if you're listening to this, you take anything away from that. That was a really good little tidbit. Like, that's a great tip. You want to get a mentor, you want to get somebody, you want to get in with someone, provide value, offer value. No catch, just offer value. What's the catch? I just want to learn from you, man. Can I call you my mentor? Can I call you sometime? Can I learn from you? Give me a shot at the big leagues. That's really smart. Really smart. So what's the next year? We're kind of running up on the end here, and I don't want anybody to miss out on what you have planned for kind of the back end of this year. Like, what's the future look like for you and for the company, TJ?
I can tell you that We're going to have a nice last quarter, right? You mentioned something about providing as much value free upfront, give it all away for free upfront. So that's my goal. I'm creating a ultimate home security handbook for new homeowners. It goes to second time homeowners and whatnot, but it's just a resource library of knowledge for you to go through. Make sure that you can go from not knowing how to secure your home to having that peace of mind and be feeling comfortable inside of your newly purchased house. And then also knowing that you can protect your family and make sure that you can last until the cops are actually able to get there, right? And that's it. Those are the main things that I feel that most people are looking for. So I'm giving that away for free. It's something that I love to do, and there'll be chances to train in person, to do some live firearms training and whatnot to come down later on the line. But that's it. I'm just trying to build a community where I can give it all away for free, so I can go play in the big leagues too every now and then.
That is it's actually super dope, and I want to get my hands on that. When can we expect to see that?
Cool. It's dropping in the next 30 days. So
in the next 30 days. So yeah, I was going to say, man, let us know as soon as you do. We'll make sure by the time you're listening to this, it'll probably be a couple weeks away from coming out. So we'll make sure that we do, we'll have to run a new ad or something. You know what I mean? Like when it comes out, we'll have to like repurpose a reel from this and make sure we put the link in there, because I want to make sure people get that, because that's dope, dude. I think people right now, let's just be real, man. With kind of everything, where everything's at, people are scared, I think, right? Like they're afraid to spend money. People are really unsure. It's been a crazy freaking year. Honestly, I feel like that's a lot of job security for you, which is weird because in most cases, this has been like the worst year for like anybody. But I guess in your line of work, it's kind of like, well, fear does kind of help. So it's unfortunate, but I mean, it does. It's good for you. Hey, man, I'm happy for you. I mean, it's, you know what I mean? Let's be real. It helps. It helps. People are like, hey, I want to know I don't know what's going to happen. Just teach me how to, and that's what I wanted to just, you don't have to go into very big detail here, but if somebody wanted to, and they were like, man, I'm a little worried. I don't know what's going on. And you mentioned securing your home. Do you also do training on like securing your home for a few weeks, for a few months? You know what I mean? You smell what I'm stepping in here? Like, would you help somebody who's like, hey, I want to know what to do, what if power goes out, I'm stuck with my family for a couple of weeks or a month, who knows? Do you get a lot of that? Because I feel like right now that's a thing. You know what I mean? And that might be something worth exploring if you're not. But I'm just saying, I'd pay for it. I'd be like, come on over, man. Show me what's up, dude. Lights go out. What's up? How do I give me some night vision goggles? Something.
Absolutely, and that's much appreciated. Yeah, I got what you're stepping in. That's one of the things that you're going to learn inside of the Ultimate Home Security Handbook. It's not just home security systems. It's not just how you pick them. It's okay, I got them. Now, how do I utilize them inside of my overall home security scheme? Right? How do I incorporate that with the dog, my firearm, my med kit, my fire escape for the family? Having to utilize the med kit, and then what's the continuity look like for hurricanes, blizzards, earthquakes, and all of that, and surviving through there. And so it's really unfortunate that Florida gets a lot of what it gets, but those are some of the most strongest people that I could point out. If I had to point out anyone, it's to brave through the elements like they brave through the elements. And so some of us are not as prepared as they are. But that hope that the Home Security Handbook gives you everything you need to get that peace of mind, knowing that you're that much more, ready to make it through whatever life throws at you.
That's super cool, man. So the Home Security Handbook is actually going to already mention some of that stuff. And I'd imagine like down to the point where it's like, all right, well, what if? And like you said, Florida, that's exactly how it was. They don't have power. They don't have gas. They don't have, like, they might need a life straw or a boil well. You might need that shit. You don't know. They just got smacked by 2 monster hurricanes back to back. What are the odds? Really weird odds. You know, what are the odds? You already knows where I'm going at with this. What are the odds that a hurricane forms in the Gulf and goes east? Just pummels Florida and picks up and gets to a Category 5 in like 30 seconds. But, you know, it's almost like somebody's like manipulating it or something. But I don't know. Weird odds.
Fairly interesting that it just hit U-turn.
Yeah, immediately, right? Immediately. Which, like, the last time that's happened is like 100+ years ago. I don't know. I get very conspiratorial and tinfoil, but then what's been tinfoil and isn't is like, well, actually, pretty much all that's pretty much happened or proven to not be tinfoil. I mean, cloud seeding's very real. Like, anyhow, don't get me started, man. Because I mean, like, I don't know. My wife's like, all right, look, I'm usually with you, but as far as like government producing hurricanes to like. And I'm like, look, man, at the very least for me, I am not going to discredit anything anymore. I'm not going to just be like, all right, that's crazy. It's possible. It might be crazy as hell. But I mean, I'm not just going to be like, there's no way. Because honestly, I don't think we know half of what the hell is possible. I know there's patents for it. That's what I know. I know there's patents for it. And I know in Dubai, they cloud seed all the time. They make it rain all the time over there. Like, they're just super crazy rich, and that's dope, but they cloud seed right now. They make it rain all the time. And they just had a flood, so I couldn't help but think maybe that was a little bit of a malfunction. But cloud seeding's been around for a long time, dude. They can make it rain if they want. Very simple. China did it to clean up for the Olympics. You know that? They're like, this is way cheaper. It's way cheaper to just make it rain. I mean, we can do that. I don't know if we can make Category 5 hurricanes or nothing now. I'm just saying. But I know we can make it rain. I know we can cloud seed. I know there's some patents for it. See, I'm going to get
Where were they this summer in Arizona?
Right, dude.
I was
the
looking
Sahara
for
Desert just
rain.
freaking flooded, man. Like, why couldn't you, like, help us out, you know? Well, see, that's the thing, man. You aren't inventing your zones of no interest. They don't give a damn about no Arizona. You know what I mean? You don't have any lithium mines in Arizona. They're not building any 15-minute cities in Arizona, dude. You're not on the map yet. Don't worry. As soon as they have a need for your spot in Arizona, don't be surprised if you get the first ever flood in the mountains, like they did in North Carolina. In the mountains, mind you. Because they didn't talk about that. It rained for like 3 days before that hit in Carolina, straight. And that's why a lot of those reservoirs busted. So it's like, well, that's weird, dude. You know what I mean? All these people are up in the mountain, man. Like, what's up with that? And then you find out, like, oh, by the way, where it happened is they got all this stuff that they got all this stuff that someone else wants. And that just, to me, always makes me like, huh. You know, things that make you say, things that make you say, I don't know. I'm just saying, man. It's just in my nature to be like, I mean, I could be crazy as hell, man. I could be, but I'm at least not afraid. At least here, I'm gonna tell you this much. I'm not so worried about what anyone thinks to not speak my mind. But well, that's weird. That's odd. That's convenient. You know what I mean? Like, damn, that's convenient. The first ever thing. Like, damn, that's really crazy for this place up in the mountains to flood from a hurricane, and yet there's all these resources that they've been trying to get and having pushback and blah, blah, blah. And now it looks like, well, it might just be easy peasy for them to make that happen. You know, it's really convenient. So, like, just to put, like, oh, there's no way. Like, maybe not, man, but why not have a discussion about it? What happened to discussion, you know? I don't know. I feel like the powers that, I don't know, I'm doing what I said I wasn't going to do. I'm going in, dude. I'm going in. I'm deep diving down the rabbit hole. It's too late. Yeah. No. I'm gonna. We're too late, and we're too late in it. We'll have another 2-parter episode if I keep going. It's not about that. It is about TJ and his security company, and really, I want to focus on him really getting out that. I think that's super cool what you're doing as far as the. Well, yeah, we won't mention this. I guess we can, but let's try not to make sure that we don't do any reels on that until it comes out. Just in case, make sure nobody takes that idea and runs with it. But I just think that's such a cool idea. Do that handbook for free. I want to see you get a lot more play, man. First of all, you're a very likable guy. What you do, I love, and I just want to see you. I want to see you do well, man. So I cannot wait to see Black Raven. Oh, man, I had it down so well. Brigade Security, really? Black Raven Brigade Security, right? Yeah, all right. The Black Raven Brigade Security. Do well, crush it, and I want to see you out there, man, in a major way, dude. So listen, if you're in Arizona, or do you have to be in Arizona? Can you go outside of the state?
We can go outside of the state. You just have to be able to afford outside of the
There
state.
you go.
But mainly, I'm in Arizona and in Texas.
Yeah, so a lot of your home security stuff or whatever, it's going to be Texas or Arizona, but it doesn't mean you can't. If you're willing to pay for TJ's services, you can get TJ's services. Yeah, right? So, but if you're in the areas and you're looking for those, Texas or Arizona, hit my man up. Where can they find you, TJ?
You can find me at, just email me, tjrussell@brbsec.com. That's Bravo Romeo Bravo Sierra Echo Charlie.com. That's Black Raven Brigade Security, just shortened, just so you know. But yeah, you can just give me an email on there, or you can shoot me a text, 623-306-0807. Holler at me. I'm down for the conversations. I want to make sure that you find what you're looking for, and the expectation of protecting your family and getting that peace of mind. I provide that. So if that's something you're looking for, then hell, let me know. We're
One more
all
time.
50 states.
What was that phone number? One more time, just a little slower.
623-306-0807.
Beautiful. Right on, man. So text, call, or email if you're looking for TJ's services. I hope, and the main premise is providing value. That's the whole purpose of this show, by the way. I don't get paid to do this. You know what I mean? We just do this because we love the conversation and the networking. For me, I get the networking. So I get to meet really cool people, other entrepreneurs, other business people, other high achievers and high-level folks. And my network grows and grows and grows. We've gotten plenty of benefits from it. Don't get me wrong. You know what I mean? We've gotten marketing sources. We've gotten all kinds of cool stuff. We've gotten board members. I mean, we've gotten a lot of stuff. But my point is, if you're listening to this show, the whole premise is to provide value to the listener. So I sincerely hope you, as a fellow salesperson, high achiever, entrepreneur, and life enthusiast, person who is in the pursuit of their highest and best self, like, that's our target demo. You know what I mean? So I feel like you fit right in, man. And I really, truly hope that you got some value from this. And I just want to point out again, like what TJ said about, like, I really think a couple of the things that he said that were really highlights. I just want to make sure it doesn't go unnoticed, that whole, like, the pursuit of mentorship and how important your network and your mentor group is. And he said something that even, like, I haven't been pushing, but just offering that value. And that goes across the board, not just trying to get mentors or networking groups, but just you're trying to get going. You're trying to build a brand for yourself. Well, the easiest way is just to give it away for free. You know, don't give away the whole house, I suppose. But frankly, I mean, if you give a lot of this stuff away for free, and then it adds to your credibility, and like Hermosi would say, give it away until you can afford to charge, or until you can are credible enough to charge for it. But that's just such a smart idea to get a mentor or a great networking group. So I love it. Make sure that you check out my guy TJ, use his services if you're in need of them. Guys, if you like this episode, if you got value out of it, let us know in the comments. Please like, subscribe, leave a review. It's how people know that the show exists. If you like TJ and you want to ask him any questions, tag him in the comments. Let us know what you want to see, what you like, what you don't like. We'd love to hear from you. And listen, if you think that we can help your business grow, we, as in me and my guys over at Baden Consulting, we're taking clients again. Now, I don't normally say this at the end of the show because we weren't doing that. We're going to take on about one client a quarter. So if you do, go to thekitchentable.net and I think it is .net, right? Yeah, .net, thekitchentable.net. Click on the consultation. There's a spot for you to click on, and let's just see if we're a good fit. Let's start there. See if we're a good fit. A lot of you solar guys and gals that are looking to maybe learn how the roofing industry works or how the home remodeling industry works. If you're looking to get into that, we can help. That's kind of where we'd really like to kind of stay, but we can certainly entertain other things and see. I mean, hell, we've been contracted by doctor friends of mine to find space to do COVID shots. So we've done a lot of things. But if you think we could help, click on the link and let's have a conversation, see if we can help grow your business. TJ, thank you so much. Make sure you check my guy out. Guys, we'll see you next time.